dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye. In a menudo style in a direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all. Ding. So that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and I'm very much so appreciative. So gracias. I know I couldn't do this shit without you guys. It cracked off this weekend in San Jose, right? San Jose, man. I wanted to give a little brief history on how I feel about the city of San Jose, what San Jose is, the monster that it is, how it's slept on, how you go into San Jose, man, the activities are wiggling out there, right? It's just crazy in San Jose. But this weekend in particular, there was some serious red on red. It popped off, right? So I got homeboys in San Jose. Yeah, I know people don't like me out there, but I do have homeboys out there that are still with the business, some that are not, some that are just family guys, and we tap in. And you know, the homeboy got at me, he was like, "Hey bro, did you hear about San Jose this weekend?" I said, "Nah, what happened?" He said, "Man, there was all kinds of shit popping off." So a brief quick rundown on what happened was, there's, just like any other city, there's pop-up car shows. I've been to plenty of them, man. Pop-up car shows are car shows that just pop up. A car club will just fucking say, you know what, we're going to pull up to this spot in this parking lot. And next thing you know, other car clubs come, other people come, and it just turns into like a fucking activity, man. It's the sideshow, it's the spot. You got a gang of chicks out there looking spectacular, right? You got a gang of homeboys. And you know, in San Jose, everybody is pretty much gang related. Even if the car club is not with the business, they got members that are from barrios, right? And San Jose reminds me of LA. And there's a lot of barrio on barrio shit. You know, they are norteños, there are Southsiders out there, and they do play the north-south things. But most of the time when it's like a pop-up show of northerners, southerners are not going to go over there, and vice versa. You know, they're not going to go fucking, I mean, that would be the smart thing to do if you're real active, to go up there and shoot them up, bang, bang. But it doesn't happen. But there still is drama. And because San Jose plays the barrio on barrio shit, there will be a lot of red on red. Okay? And I don't think they see it that way. Like, you know, they're not going by like prison politics. So it's not like red on red and they're tripping. It's like, hey, your barrio doesn't come before mine, and shit starts popping off. San Jose's always been like that. But one thing about San Jose, even when I was a kid in the youth authority, San Jose was always different. They considered themselves, just like Salas, the mecca of norteño activities, right? When you think city of San Jose and you're Mexican, you know that the norteño stronghold is deep in San Jose. There's several barrios, probably over 50 to 100 barrios of vatos from San Jose. And San Jose always gets a lot of respect. They get a lot of respect. It's always been like that, man. They got some of the oldest barrios in California, in Northern California. And so they've been highly respected. And a lot of the guys from San Jose have a chip on their shoulder, I noticed. You know, when they go into prison or they go anywhere, just because they're from San Jose, they want everyone to know they're from the Mecca, right? And that's just what that is. So I always was cool with guys from San Jose. I always was real cool because they played that city life, ex-Iberia shit. I fucked with them. It was just more so, I like the Bay Area. I like the city. And San Jose is considered South Bay Area. And every time I went up there, man, it was all love. Gang of chicks out there in San Jose, right? And just a lot of things to do. So this weekend, there was a pop-up car show, and there was a melee that broke out, several melees. And one little incident led to several others, and there was 2 people shot, a person killed. I mean, the cops, it was on fire. I actually got actual footage that I can't show on YouTube of these events while they were happening live, right? A homeboy was there, he sent me the footage, like, damn, it's popping off. Red paños everywhere, a gang of northerners going at it. And I wanted to speak on the red on red issue because, and I'm not going to tell you which barrios were fighting, and that's their business. I'm just going to say a lot of guys were arrested, guns were found, gang paraphernalia, all that, you know, and it goes to show you that you can't just go to an event in a town like San Jose or any other city and think it's just going to be cool. Something always pops off. There's always going to be gang members that get in the mix. There's always going to be people that say something. It's just like that. It's hard nowadays to go out with your chick, go have a good time, go to a car show. But then pop-up car shows are pretty dangerous. You know, they just spring up out of nowhere, and so many people want to be involved and come. When you get a lot of heads together, shit cracks. So the red on red aspect is this. I myself am in question. I'm not in question. I'm in no good standings because of red on red. Okay, that's a fact. In 97, when the Norte law went out, right? It stated that all Norteños from all different barrios will come together. They will set aside their differences to pave a new way for the future, for future goals, right? Forever forward. Canalismo, unity. Now, it's hard to tell a whole bunch of individuals that feel that their hood is number one, their barrio is number one, that they now have to lay down arms and get along. You know, there's a lot of barrios, like in Merced, for instance, we didn't get along with the north side, man. It didn't, no matter what anyone said, we felt like them fools were fucking mosquitoes trying to bite us in our neck. And we were going to let them have it. And they felt the same way about us. And I'm not going to sit here and say we were any tougher than them other barrios. They were down too. They were all northerners. We were all northerners. It just was what it was, but there was a lot of bloodshed. Every time we seen each other on site, jumping out the cars, fighting, go to the fair, fools get smashed. Can I say we were one up Aki? Right off the toppy, right? We definitely stood one up, but they were a threat. They did fucking handle their business. So it was hard to let it go when a Norte law was passed and we were told to lay it down and to let it go, right? There's a lot of people that said, fuck that. They weren't going to say it out loud. They were going to fight the feeling because they knew they didn't want to be in bad standings. They didn't want to, because you're going to eventually go to prison. When you're a gang member, you're going to die or go to prison. Just seal that, sign that, zip it up, put it there for later. It's what's going to happen, right? So when these guys heard that this is what it was supposed to be and the inside was controlling the outside, they went with the program. But in their hearts, man, they felt like, fuck these dudes. These are the dudes that fucked my homeboys up or boned my old lady or whatever, right? They were feeling some type of way. So every city was like that. You know, what I'm noticing now is people are turning against El Norte law, Northern California. They're not recognizing it like it once was. It's becoming a thing of the past now where it's going back to barrio warfare. It's going back to your hood, and your hood is all that matters. You know, so there's a lot of red on red. I know cities like Sacramento, San Jose, these bigger cities, they've been doing it. The shit never stopped. You know, but, and here's the thing, I understand it. When you go to prison, there's going to be unity, no matter where you're from, right? But it doesn't mean that there's not a lot of individualism, homeboy favoritism. It happens all the time, man. When I was in the youth authority, Vatos from Sanjo felt some type of way. Vatos from Salas felt some type of way. They gave all their homeboys the pass. Our homeboy was in like Flynn, just because of where he was from. You know, and guys on the outside looking in from Tulare County, Merced, Modesto, we didn't get that type of love. You know, we didn't get, they didn't fuck with us like that. We were homies and shit. We could bust a spread and shit, but it was a Sanjo thing. It was always like that. Sacramento was the same way. It was a Sacra thing, capital city. But these two cities, there's always been red on red. There's always been bloodshed between Norteños. It's a fact. So when the homeboy told me about this weekend, I was not surprised. The surprising thing is the depths of it, how deep it went. So there was about 150 gang members fighting. And the videos I got, you could see Vatos just going at it. It was crazy, right? And I'm going to delete those videos today I don't need them. But the thing is this, you know, guys handling their business is always happened. The reasonings behind handling business is always going to be frivolous. It's going to be some bullshit, some disrespect. We just don't like them guys. And that's that. That is why the red on red point is why the Southsiders were able to establish so thick in cities like Sanjo and other cities like Richmond, Vallejo, and then become strongholds. And the reason why is because Norteños are always focused on the wrong thing. Rather than be focused on the opposition and doing their thing, they focus on each other because they feel, honestly, that the Southsiders don't pose a threat, that they're not a worthy adversary there, right? So they fight amongst their own. But 150-man melee in the middle of the streets of Sanjo is crazy, right? Imagine walking outside your door and going downtown and there's 150 fucking dudes all flamed up just going at it. You know, what the fuck? Who do you help? Who do you assist? You know, it's some crazy shit. But it definitely went down. Like I said, they seized guns, gang paraphernalia, and a guy was killed. He was actually shot. And this incident was just the catalyst. There was other incidences around the town that happened at the same time. It like continued. Shit happens. Like I remember, and I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story. So one time we got into it with a gang called Loughborough Locals, right? We were dead end. Everybody knew that Dead End and Loughborough were the two thickest gangs out there in Merced, and we hated each other, man. Now they get along, but we were on each other's head. On site, anywhere we're seeing each other, get off where you're mad at. And we were much deeper than off, bro, but they held their own, man. The guys that were from there were with the business. Definitely with the business. That first generation, that's why they were able to establish and get a foothold into Merced like that, because they were down, right? I got to give them their props, their flowers. Rest in peace, Short Guy. Bam, comes to mind, right? So when we'd see these guys, we'd get off. Well, there was a farmer's market that happens in Merced. I don't know if it still happens. I haven't been there for a minute. But there was a farmer's market. And of course, as gang members, we want to be where the action's at. We don't want to miss shit. We want to make our presence felt. So it's me and about 20 homeboys. And we were just doing our thing, mobbing around. And one thing about my neighborhood is we went wherever we wanted to go. We did in the town whatever we wanted to do. We would go have fucking barbecues at Farron's Park on the north side, Rahili Park on the north side, just because we were hoping somebody would come try to act stupid so we can give them the business. So we like to agitate and poke the bear. That was our thing, right? So we'd walk around. We were walking around Farmers Market just thinking we were tough. Mongolians everywhere, flamed up. And now that I think about it, it was pretty embarrassing. You know, people are just out there trying to buy vegetables and have a good time and paint their kid's face. And we're over there trying to gangbang. That's not the spot for it. But it was what it was, right? I participated, so I can't be a hypocrite. So anyways, we were walking. And there's this spot called, it's a bar. And I've told stories about it. We got off, it's a Mexicano bar, Paisa bar. It's called La Bahia, right? And we seen a whole bunch of dudes in the front of La Bahia, like maybe 20, 30 dudes. Just posted up right there. So as we're walking from a distance, my homeboy's like, hey, bro, I think that's some fools from LBL, right? And I was like, well, we're headed that way. It is what it is, right? And one of my older homeboys, Charlie Boy, he's a big old dude. Looks like Debo, like that, all cross-eyed and shit. He's like, hey, what's that? Fuck someone up, Holmes. I'm like, oh, shit. He says, I'm going to get him like this and like that. I'm going to do it with the wiffle ball bat. Is it? I'm like, oh, shit. He's crazy, right? That's how he talks, too. So, Holmes. And so we're walking, and these vatos come out to the middle of the street. It's like the OK Corral. Like, they're like, what's up? This is LBL gang. I'm like, right, dead end. We're all throwing it up. We're gang banged out. Boom, melee, red on red. Vicious, vicious. Tomatoes, cucumbers, chicharron. People have chicharrones, they're flying everywhere. It was on and cracking. It was on and cracking, right? North on north, red on red. Was normal for us. So I understand the situation, right? But that stopped. See, that stopped. One thing about my city is we functioned hand in hand with prison. Like, we were on it. If it was supposed to be that way, we politicked. It was supposed to be that way. So the shit went away. When El Norte Law came out, we adhered to it. And there was no more beef. There was no more remembering the old. It start a new chapter. Let's let all that shit go. My city's not as big as cities like San Jose and Sacramento. You know, they didn't let shit go. And now what we have is a new generation. So you have different generations. In the 90s, we were banged out. Okay? And somewhere along the line, that's when a lot of prison politics and a lot of different things implemented itself into the streets. And they basically took over the streets, right? And everyone became structured up. Everyone became, okay, this is how it's got to be. Everybody was fucking pintos on the streets, all prisoned out. Now what we have is a different era, a wilder generation. A generation that doesn't respect the old school. A generation that doesn't respect the old heads, like they call them. A generation that doesn't respect their OGs. See, our thing, back in our days, when OGs would get out of prison, we treat them like kings. Like, damn, that's a big homie. He's righteous, right? All tatted down, big old wet, fucking hair slicked back, lentes on, like, hey, I'm high in the motherfucker. Those were the ones we respected, right? They gave us clecha. They prepared us. The preparation was real. They prepared us for what we were going to see in prison. So when they came out with the philosophies of all homies are the same, they're all equal to this, to that, we listened. We took our gangbanging to a next level, to a prison level, to the next step. See, nowadays it's not like that. Nowadays, this wilder generation, there's no respect for the OGs. So now it's like, we're going to do what the fuck we want to do when the fuck we want to do it. Shout! And that's just it. So that's where you have a lot of red on red, a lot of guys that just are going crazy. And they're taking it to the next level. They're shooting each other. They're killing each other. And the cool part is you have the opposition Southerners down the street doing their thing. Meanwhile, you're killing each other. I understand shit happens. I understand, man, in the game, you're going to, there's things going to happen. Shit pops off, right? But it's a bad look. It definitely is a bad look. Especially, man, when you get locked up and you go to prison and the homies ask you, what are you here for? Oh, I killed some Vatos shit. Yeah, is that right? Southside or what? Nah, homie. What? They're going to look at you funny. You're not going to be all bad. But because the streets, the shit that happens in the streets doesn't necessarily count. Unless he has family members that are there or big homies that are there that politic on your ass. It happens all the time. I seen the young homie. Let me tell you a little quick story. Because the wind's blowing. Knowledge you can't get in college. Little young homie from Stockton. We were in Tracy together. Solid little dude, right? Down. He had killed another dude from another body in Stockton. And he was freaked out about it. He was tripping because he thought, hey, the red on red, they're going to trip on me. And there was another homeboy, OG, there from Stockton. He got at him. He was like, look, little homie, what you do on the streets, that's that. As long as you're not a chiruhu or some weird shit or anything like that, you got a weirdo case, you're going to be good, man. Explain yourself wherever you go. And you'll be good, right? And so he ends up going to New Folsom for a while. He was in the hole there. They got off or whatever. And then he ends up going to High Desert. And when he was in High Desert, there was a few dudes there from the barrio of the dude he had killed. They politicked on him very viciously. He got stabbed a gang of times, right? They smutted his name up. All of a sudden, he had told on a burglary from back when he was a kid that he didn't even tell on. I mean, just bad. It ended up coming out that he was solid, man, and that these dudes did what they did. Let me tell you what happened. The 3 dudes that politicked on him, they ended up getting fucking moved on. At the end, everybody lost. 1 homie dead. Another homeboy whacked. 3 homeboys also moved on. Because of the red on red aspect. So my thing is this, man. It's unfortunate to see gang members still out there on the streets and right there in the public doing shit like this. It's very dangerous for people that are not involved. But it happens all the time. So yeah, the city of Santa went up. It was lit this weekend, man. Motherfuckers going at it everywhere. And it's crazy because my homeboy from San Jose, he sees shit all the time. You know, San Jose, it's a big city. Fights happen every day. Pops off, right? It really pops off. He was like, bro, this was different. Sent me the footage. He was like, motherfucker, it was popping, bro. It was really popping. He was like, I didn't know who to turn to, like who to help. Like it was all homeboys everywhere. Red rags everywhere. And I said, yeah, well, you know, shit goes down like that. It does. It's just unfortunate that it continues to be like that. But it is what it is. Anyways, man, I just wanted to put that out there, you know, and tell you a few stories. But I remember, man, back in our days, the red on red shit, it was... We didn't have Southsiders like that in our city, so we didn't have to focus on that. In Merced, there's been 2 Southsider gangs that have sprung up, ever. One's SSL, and I hear they're a little bit thicker now. And the other ones were PPLs. Pocos pero locos, right? And I can tell you a story, man. When I was in YA, there was a fool. His name was Navarrete. Kind of like a paisa dude, red hair though. He was a Canelo, right? And when I was in Carl Holton, when we'd come out, they had these long rows of chairs. They were like these plastic chairs. They were all connected by metal. And you basically sat wherever you sat. And so I'm sitting and he's sitting next to me. And he had just got there like a day or 2. So I didn't even know who he was, man. I'm not hitting him up. He's not a homie, obviously, if he's not chilling with us. He has to be a Southerner or a paisa. I couldn't tell, right? So I sit down next to him. And what they would do is before you go to chow, the senior, which was like the main officer, he would hand out mail right there. So as he hands this fool a letter, I just happen to glance. I'm not being metiche or I'm not being fucking nosy, but I didn't fucking happen to look over. And I see Merced, California on it. My eyes get big. And I said, hey, homie, where you from? Automatically defensive. Where you from? He's like, Pocos Pero Locos gang, South Side, right? I said, oh, homie. He's like, Merced. I said, right? I was like, I'm going to have to see you as soon as we get back. Because we played that little thing, man. Wasn't going to be no one from our city representing, you know? And he's like, all right, cool, whatever. I wanted to sock his ass right there, but I didn't want to get into it right. So I'm like, all right, cool. So as we go through the chow, I tell a couple of my homies that are working the chow from my hood that are there. We're all 3 of us on the compa. Hey, this fool's from PPL. They're like, oh, it's on, right? He's like, damn, how many of you Vatos are there? Like 3 here, and there's like 8 more in the institution. So anyways, as soon as we get back, we handle our business, whatever, right? I get out. He ends up getting out. We're at the fair. It's me, my homeboy Monkey, my boy BB, just a few of us, right? We're all on parole, my boy Squeaky, rest in peace, and a gang of chicks. And we're right there where you take the pictures. You know, at the fair, there's a booth where you take pictures. And there's a picture floating around somewhere. Some homegirl got it of all of us at the fair. I had my Mongolians all dropped. I thought it was cool. And Anyways, we're looking in the mirror, getting ready and shit. Let me see how I look. And all of a sudden behind the mirror, I see the vato, right? Like a ghost. And I turn around quick, like, what's up, fool? I think he's trying to run up on me. And he's got his kid in a stroller and his old lady. She was fine, the motherfucker, too. I ain't gonna lie. I gave her one of these. I'm looking at him like, what's up? I look at her, I go, through the wink, right? And he's like, oh, what's up, bro? I don't bang no more, nothing. It's all good, right? I was like, cool. I wasn't trying to press the issue on him. He was just doing his family thing, whatever. He has a baby. I wouldn't have did anything anyway. So we take our pictures, whatever. Months later, I'm not even going to lie. I did some acid, right? The homeboy, it was my birthday, and the homeboy hooked me up with some acid, and I was on a great one. I was all weirded out. And I'm walking through these apartment complexes in Merced called the Merced Commons. If you're from the hood, you know, right? So I'm walking through the Commons, and this fool's sitting, he's barbecuing like on a fucking one of the little barbecue pits I guess he lived in the Commons. I didn't even know. And he's cooking like steaks and shit, and he has a beer. And I'm walking by all weirded out, and he sees me. He's like, hey, and he calls my name, and I turn around like, what's up, fool? Want to get active? I'm all fucked up. He's like, nah, you want a beer, bro? I told you I don't gangbang. And we sit there and we chopped it up for a long time. And we got along real cool. You ended up being real cool. Moral of that story is, that's how it was back then, right? Those were the Southsiders that were there. That gang faded out. I heard SSL still there. I don't know, right? But we used to trip like that on each other, red on red, because we didn't have no adversaries really. But these other cities that do have opposition still kill each other. It's crazy. It's amazing. Anyways, man, San Jose was lit. It went down this weekend. And 150-man riot in the middle of the street. Shit popping off everywhere. Man, I would love to see that from a distance, right? Everyone loves a little drama. But it's not a good look, man. Raza killing raza is never a good thing, man. And I'm not trying to promote that type of activity. I'm trying to say, I highlight it to say this. When are people going to get their mind right so they can shine right? It's about getting money, family, friends. It's not about gangbanging in the streets, man. Now, people are dead, people are locked up, and the beat goes on like a whisper song. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. You know, red on red is crazy. It gets dangerous. The gun.